Welcome once again. Welcome once again to Humanist TV Africa. It's the time for the gang. The gang. The gang is here. The gang is here to gang up against each other. We gang up against each other and we fight for the sake of our viewers getting something out of us. My name is KATO Mukasa. Of course, I'm a Ugandan interested in human rights issues, and this is the Human Rights TV, Humanist TV Africa, where we come and share ideas, where we try to bring ideas to you, issues to you, which we think can be able to help build Africa, to help empower our people in Africa and of course beyond. Now, remember, we have studios in Uganda, we have studios in Ghana, studios in Sierra Leone, parts of Mambu. Of course, we hear people from Sierra Leone are talking with us on the TV here. We have studios in Ghana, thanks to Nandip, of course, there, and Babasi and others. We have studios in Zimbabwe, we have studios in Zambia, and of course, we have studios in Kenya. We intend to open more studios, of course, in East Africa, Rwanda, Tanzania. We are underway opening studios there. We want to open more studios, of course, in South Africa, and we want to go as far as Egypt, Maghreb region. We want to have these studios in these countries. We want to continue interacting with people within Africa and outside Africa. Now, this is Humanist TV Africa, and we want to encourage you to subscribe. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our producer, Dennis Bongole, is going to be showing you the subscription tag, which is Humanist TV Africa. And please, we request you to subscribe. Please hit that notification button, subscribe, so you can be able to always see our videos. Remember, we put them there and they remain there for months and for years. You'll find these videos there. They are in our archives. Simply go back in our archives. You are going to see the Taroko man with a hoodie talking. You're going to see Nandip talking. You're going to see, of course, Mambu from Sierra Leone talking. You're going to see Nana talking. You're going to see all of us talking. And these videos we do today are going to be there for a long, long time. Now, you want to request you to please subscribe. And also, if you want to interact with us, please write to us. Email us at humanisttvafrica@proton.me. The email is humanisttvafrica@proton.me. That email will be received by our administrators. Dennis will be able to read that email, and Brian will be able to read that email, and they will answer you. It will be answered by our administrators, not me, not Nandip, not Mambo. The administrators will be able to answer your questions, and of course, they are going to be able to schedule you. If you want to feature on our program or any of our programs here, you'll be able to hear from our administrators who are scheduling the programs. Of course, we do programs in Ghanaian language, and Nana there does a program in Ghanaian language. Nana, which language do you do in Ghana on the program?
Twi.
It is called Twi.
Yeah,
Twi. Yeah, I love Ghana. You know, Twi. Yeah, it is Twi. Of course, Mambo has been doing. Mambo has been doing programs in Sierra Leone language. I think it's called the Creole, something Creole. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. And of course, Nigeria is the most confused country in the world. It has over 250 languages. But so with Nigeria, I don't know which language actually to promote because they have so many languages, including Pidgin English.
Comrade, we can promote Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba.
Okay, very good. Actually, yeah, we have had Igbo with Obasi. So Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba, those are the biggest languages. Yeah, this is a country with over 200 million people with so many languages. So with Nigeria, I'm also confused, but the ambassador is there to tell us what to do. Now, having said that, today it's the gang, and of course it's Kato and his gang, and we're going to be discussing tradition. We're going to be discussing, of course, the main topic is around the gang, politics, economics, and religion in Africa. But today, we're going to be discussing cultural practices which we as humanists don't agree with in Africa. There are cultural practices which we as humanists don't agree with in Africa. I will start with my take in 5 minutes. What I disagree with in Africa are 2, 3, 4 things, but I will mention about like 3. Number 1 is the practice of female genital mutilation. Nana na na Nandipu and Mambu, me, I'm against any woman, any man who says that a woman is clitoral, I think it's called clitoria, that genital part. Yeah, it should be cut. You know, in my own country, Uganda, there is a tribe called Sebei, the Sabini, or Sebei. In my own country, Uganda, there is a tribe which circumcises women. And in 2012, activists went to court, including my NGO, was among the petitioners. My NGO is Halea, and many other NGOs went to court. Actually, first of all, petitioned parliament, and then court, and then a law, which we call the Anti-Female Mutilation Act, was passed in 2012 to stop girls from getting mutilated. You can imagine these women, big women, older than my mother, go and get these young girls of 10 years to 15, and then they take them to huts, you know, those huts of ours in Africa, and then they keep them there for days, and then they cut them. They cut off their clitoris. In a practice, they say it's culture and it preserves the sanctity of a woman. In fact, it's called a cultural right, a cultural passage, that when a woman is circumcised or mutilated, when a girl is mutilated, she becomes a woman. So when you are not mutilated, you are not a woman. You are a girl. And number 2, they say, because I was asking, why are they doing it? And we are saying that they do so because a woman who is circumcised, I call it circumcised, female genital mutilation, mutilated, cut, is more safer. He doesn't go jumping with men, is loyal to one man, you know, that kind of talk, that this woman has no feelings, therefore it's going to be noble, loyal to one man, and therefore it's going to make a good Sabini woman. Now that's one thing I'm against. Now I'm against that culture of female genital mutilation in Africa. And I've given a tribe in Uganda, the Sabini, who are doing it, and the law is against them. Of course, the other practice which I'm against is the practice of women inheritance. Like if I die, and then you say my brother is going to take over my wife, I think it's a very bad practice because it prevents the woman from exercising her own rights, but also it promotes HIV and AIDS. So that culture, to me, I think is also very, very bad. The other culture, which I'm also against, is the culture of marrying off girls when they are very young. Marrying off girls when they are very young. As soon as these girls start menstruating, some families actually are very willing to marry them off, especially families of Muslims. Especially families of Muslims are very much willing to marry off young girls. And the other practice which I've been against is the practice of taking dowry, bride price, dowry. There we can discuss it. Many people think it's okay. But for me, I think that I don't need to pay for a woman. Nandip, Mambu, and Nana, I've told you my own experience. Me, I have refused to pay for a woman because a woman is not a cow. A woman is not a property. There's no I can come to your home and say, now, if you want to take my daughter, give me 10 cows. I said no. Your daughter is not property. I'm not buying an animal. We are going to a partnership where me and her will be equal. We must be able to contribute. So for me, from my side, I have refused a dowry. I've refused the bride price. People hate me because I talk about it and I tell them, look, to me, this is a woman purchase. I call it woman purchase. I'm simply purchasing a woman. There's no way I can be loving a woman and they tell me pay 10 cows. For what? Personally, I refused it. I speak it here. They know it. Those people know it. I refuse to pay the cows because I think it is inhuman, because I think it's greed, it's capitalism, African way of capitalism. Why are you selling your daughter to me? So I will stop there. My 10 minutes, my 5 minutes are over. Then I will, of course, go back to the studio and I will start with the Taroko man with the Hodi and Andip Bongfa to tell us if there are some cultural practices they think should be changed among the Tarok people in Nigeria.
Thank you, Comrade Katu, for this wonderful topic. And I really welcome Nana. I welcome my brother Maubu. You know, cultural practices that should be kind of prohibited in Tarok. I don't think there is anyone that should be prohibited because I'm a cultural and a traditional person. So I won't agree with you completely, but we have to look at it. You know, what's supposed to be done should be done. What is not supposed to be done should be removed in tradition and culture. Now, let's look at the child, the girl child marriage. You know, this has been happening for centuries, but I have never observed that happen in the Tarok land or the Tarok tradition. But it happened in Nigeria, especially the northern part of Nigeria, which most of them they are what Muslims. They practice Islamic religion. The Christians, where I came up from, and the tradition, they don't do that. Yes, I don't believe that. I don't even think that my mother get married when she is 15 years old. I cannot accept that because I believe that she will be around 18, 17, 18 years, which she's kind of matured enough of which she can be able to give birth and then take care of the birth, but the baby. But when you marry you give birth, you kind of give a child of 15 years, 13 years, 14 years to marry. When it comes to kind of birth, it's a problem. You know, in the terms of delivery, that child will have a problem. And in olden days, there's nothing like a kind of what do we call it? You go to the hospital and they do the cesarean operation for the child to come out. So this always lead to what fatality and death, or you will lead the mother to a very a fatal tear of which she cannot be able to control a urinary tract. I remember one of my aunt, my father younger sister, because I believe she got a kind of early child marriage. So I always get a kind of a stench, a kind of smell from her, from urine. But I discovered that she usually use, because at that time there's no what is called this pampas, this thing that women use for blocking their menstrual something. So she also always use a wrapper and cover those urine because she cannot control it. I believe I believe it's through that child marriage that make that place to be kind of open, and the bladder got problem. See, in that aspect, I didn't support early child marriage. But when you reach a certain age, as a female, as a girl, to get married, I really accept that. Now, let's look at the widow. You know, there's some cultural practices in tradition that when I die today, my wife will get married to my younger brother, my elder brother, or one of my uncle. So this tradition you have to look at, because it's not, acceptable in these days and age. Your wife married you because she loves you. Probably in tradition and culture, that if a wife, that is a girl that married you, she has married all the members of the family. But there's something that is called love. And in that scenario, and if she didn't love anyone among them, and in tradition and culture, she will be forced to marry anyone among the family male. That happened to my mother. Yes, I'm giving an example for myself. My father was a soldier. He retired in 1986. When he got retired and came back to the village, at that time, I was just 11 years old boy. Now, by December of that, because he retired in February 1986. By December of that 1986, that is December 6th, which is today, he died. Yes, today is my father's death anniversary.
Very sorry, my brother. Our condolences. Our condolences.
Yeah, we really, go through a lot. 11 years old child, a boy, with a mother and some uncles that you don't even know. You are being forced that this is your father, brother. You have never even know that person for a very long time. So, so because of the tradition of the thing, because I've once told you that my father is not a Christian and my mother is not a Christian, and they are all traditional people, as I've told you, I have introduced to you before. So when there's a cultural thing, when a man died, there's a local where we do it. There are ancestors that died. They call them ancestors that died many years ago. They'll come out. They'll make that woman to, marry any person among the family, not even the family of the husband per se, but another within the family. She will get married to that person, even though she don't love the person. She have to marry that person. And this particular person, to be honest, I've never known him before. Because of the traditional way of doing things, we have to accept it as our father. So my mother have to accept him also as the husband. But if the tradition can be able to allow widow to decide for themselves the person that they can be able to marry within the family, if they discover that they don't have anybody within the family to marry, they can be able to stay on their own within the family and raise their children with the support of the entire family. I think that is a very good one. But to force a person on a woman that she doesn't even like or she doesn't even love, that tradition supposed have to look at very, very well. Because I, as a person, I cannot kind of discredit tradition or culture completely, because I'm part of it. Yes. Why? Because we have to support our culture and tradition. We will not allow it to go extinct. We will not allow it to go extinct. We have to promote it in whatsoever means necessary as Africa. Not about a science, not about Islam, not about Christianity. Our culture is our culture. Our ancestors, they are traditionalists. Our ancestors, they are cultural people. So why are we kind of, yes, we believe in science. Science make a lot of things happen. Yes, we support science, but not about Christianity. I don't believe in that. I don't support that. Not about Islam. I don't support that. But culture and tradition, yes. Science, yes. Islam, no. Christianity, no. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. you have made your mark. You have made your mark clear. And your conclusion was that you are for cultural traditions, but of course the rest, no, which is okay. But our improvement is that the cultural tradition should be able to meet the humanistic values.
Yes.
The humanistic values. Because if these traditions are breaking our humanistic values, some of us are saying no to these values. Now we have had your run. Let us go to.
Yes. 1 minute. That's why I said women should be allowed to choose who, especially widow, who they like to. That's humanistic. That is where she
I agree.
Yes,
I
and
agree completely there.
Thank you.
Once they are allowed to choose, once a person is given a choice, all of us are going to support that. Now let's go to Mambo. Mambo is about to run away because of network. Let us give Mambo a chance first. Mambo.
No, I will not run away. Today is like my network is okay.
Okay.
Well, first of all, like in my country, there is a lot of cultural practices which are diabolic. And I personally, I am against them. Because I usually say that there is no secret society without a form of wickedness. So whatever it is being arranged in there is a form of wickedness. Now, the FGM you are talking about, the female genital mutilation, is something that even our politicians use it to campaign to Sierra Leoneans. Because you will see a politician saying that this year I'm going to initiate 200 girls into the Bondo society. We call it Bondo society because we have a lot of ethnic groups in Sierra Leone, but the Mendes, their society, the female society is called Bondo, and so the politicians actually use that to campaign. And I personally, I was against it, and up to today, I'm against it because you cannot tell me that you will use that form of wickedness to campaign because you see a lot of women are in it, and we were campaigning against it. I personally was a campaign against it. I was against it. We've written a lot of projects, just to try to abolish that type of practice, that they will cut the girl child. And there was a time we are implementing a project on the sexual and gender SGBV project, and there were some little girls that were initiated at around 3 and 4 years. The 3 years girl did not survive it. She bled to death. After she was caught, the little girl did not survive it. She bled to death. So we are against it. But even when we are against it, even when we are trying to push for this case, for it to be abolished, but our politicians use it to campaign during elections. A politician will say, this year I will sponsor 200 girls. Women should give their girls, or parents should give their girls. I am going to sponsor them for them to be initiated into the into the secret society, the Bondo society. And even the male. Sierra Leone, we have the male part too. They also initiate guys or men or boys. In fact, during those times, if you are around a village or around a town where those things are happening, if you don't run away to the city, you will be captured, whether you like it or not. They will break your door and take you out of your house, and then take you to wherever they want to take you and initiate you by force. By force. So whether you like it or not, that is why whenever I'm in Sierra Leone in December, from November to December, I'll never go to my village because
they may capture you.
Yes, because I have my colleagues, I have my friends who are part of that society, and they will be looking for you. They say Emmanuel is a potential, so let's go for him. So if you are around the village, so during November to December, if you mistake, if you mistake and go to that village, my brother, nothing will save you. You it is broad daylight. During the day, they will handle you wherever you are. Yes.
Hello, Mabu. Sorry, let me interrupt you there. Like you as a male, what will they do to you? Because I know that the female, they call their clitoris. So what will they do to the male that you'll be afraid?
Good. Well, for the male, first of all, you have to spend not less than 2 months in the secret in the bush and the forest where they live. Not less than 2 months, at most 6 months. So it is between 6 to 2 months. And then secondly, your back. they will split your back into pieces.
They put back marks. They put marks on your back.
They will put marks on your back. If you don't take time, the whole of your back will be marked. and there are different forms of wickedness that they will just try, like they want to, that they take it that they want to make you a man. They want you to become a man, and you only become a man through, I mean, when you have gone through all this wicked tradition, all this wicked act, that they will even bury you alive for like 1 day or 2 days. They will even there's gonna be a day that they will flog you for the rest of the day.
Excuse me, Mabu.
Yes, I'm listening.
Yes, let me ask you another question again, because your tradition is very interesting to me. That's why I just want to find out a lot of things from the tradition in Sierra Leone. Now, why would you stay away for months? Because I remember when I was initiated as my own Tarok tradition, I only stay away for 7 days, of which I will not go out. Before the 7 days, I have to go out with a long cane. Any person that I see, I have to flog that person. That is the tradition demands. But the tarot tradition is not as the way you painted it now. It's not as that kind of barbaric the way you are saying it now. I don't believe tradition should be like that.
Mambo is aware, but Mambo was talking about a culture in Sierra Leone where they put marks on your back. If Mandip, if you have seen the Sudanese, the Nubians, people from Sudan, those dark people, I call them dark people, black people, very black people. They put marks on your body, lots of marks on your body, like bands on your body, and for them it's like a design. The Nubian.
Yes, they call it scarification.
Yes, so I think this is what Mambo is telling us, that there's an equivalent of such cultural initiation in Sierra Leone. But I actually wonder, because Sierra Leoneans, basically many of them came from the US. These were Africans returned. And now you can see bad cultural practices die hard. They still do these hopeless things. Anyway, let us go to Comrade in Ghana, Nana Kufo.
Thank you, Comrade Kato, and I'm really enjoying this.
It's getting very interesting.
And Comrade Nandeb, you said they will give you a long stick. What will you do with the stick after you are being initiated into the tarot?
Yes, to be flocking anybody that you see.
When you see anybody, yes, then you throw it.
No, it's a long stick. You follow somebody with run and be flogging the person. Flogging.
Are you beating the person?
You know? Yes, to be beating the person.
Practice. But this is a bad culture practice.
And you flog the person, you flog.
This is unhumanistic, and the humanist movement will not accept this. Okay, thank you very much. Coming back to Ghana, I was, but let me start from where Mambu left about scarification and putting scars on the body. I remember when I grew up, I saw some small marks on my joints, most joints of my body, my knees, and some was here, but you cannot. It's invisible right now, all over my body. So I asked my mom, and my mom said when she gave birth to me and she took me to the house, immediately she left. My grandfather and my father connived and picked me and took me to their fetish priest. So when my mom realized they have already scarred me and blood was oozing all over my body, and it is a cultural practice, but uh, I don't know. I was a kid then, so I didn't see it. I was a baby. But I'm not happy with it, and I don't think I can do that to my own children. And what is the end result of it? Though some of them think medicinally it gives you some sort of medicinal powers, or some it fights evil spirit, or it can ward off diseases, and but we are living in the 21st century for humanistic. These things are no longer needed. That is why we encourage women to go to the hospital before, during, and after delivering their babies, so that any form of diseases that will be diagnosed will be taken care by these medical practitioners. One other aspect of culture Kato talked about was the female genital mutilation. Yes, it is also practiced here in Ghana, but our CSOs, the NGOs, the government, and kudos to the women fraternity in Ghana. They've really done well. It was really rampant in the northern part of our country, but I learned it still goes on, but it goes on under dark and under the cover of darkness. It's not as mainstream as it used to be, because many of the CSOs fought against the FGM, the female genital mutilation, and I think it is never a good thing, because these are women who these are ladies who are supposed to also enjoy sex, but some of the reason given to the why ladies are being mutilated is that sometimes when their men are making love to them, they will be screaming, they will be enjoying the sex too much. So there is the need for the man to minimize the noise, or the woman make during love making. But to me, the noise women make during love making is like the melody when you are in a dance hall room. You need music to dance around. So if you are making love to a woman and she is making noise, it means you are hitting the right spot. Maybe, unless maybe you are hitting her, it means you are on the right
Are,
path. So then,
are you married?
married. I'm, s- I'm searching for money. I'll go to Sudan to get a 7 feet woman to marry. So, so I think it's a bad cultural practices, and those who practice it, I don't know the reason why they did it, but it is outmoded, and we must encourage all all the stakeholders in our society to really fight against the FGM. I learned some are still going on in some of the in the northern part of our country. And the one another aspect of bad cultural practices we have here in Ghana is the issue about giving something to an elderly person, a chief, before you are able to, he's able to help you or discuss your problem with you. It is a normal that when you are going to discuss something, or when you are going to somebody, you have to offer that person something. It's good, like as a reasonable human being, giving gifts to people is accepted. It's good, but not until there is an issue where you have to give this gift to the chief, or this well, I don't know, to the chief, so that the chief will accept your hearing. It is bribery and corruption. It is clearly bribery and corruption, and this one has seeped into our politics. So the politicians, they don't care. they can even go. You will see young men when they see politicians, they will gather around his car, he enter his car, pull wads of money, share it to them. It's good. Maybe that kind of that amount of money will feed that person. It's good, but you are sending a wrong impression to the people. How much are you paid? So how much are you paid for you to get this huge amount of money to be displaying it in public? So it's a bad cultural practice that when we go to our chiefs, we take snaps, drinks, money. So the highest bidder always will win the case. It is always the highest bidder. Because if you take one chicken and a snap and about 100 cedis to the chief, and I bought the chief a BMW. I know KATO have a BMW, and that's what I'm saying. And I bought the chief a BMW. Who do you think is going to win the case? It's definitely me who bought the BMW. You forget about your chicken things. So I think it's a bad cultural practices that we must root out from our society. One aspect of another cultural practice is the way we talk about LGBTQI people. Culturally, we didn't have anything against them. Culturally, we didn't have anything against them, but it is Westernization and Christianity which brought this enmity between us and between we, the straight people, heterosexuals, and the homosexuals. Because during the olden days, they were free to mingle around. Even you will see the homosexuals being with the elite people, with the chiefs. It is them that you will see the homosexual people, roaming about with. So, which means they were accepted. They had their place in our society. But currently, as we talk, we have a certain place in Kumasi. We have the biggest market in the whole Western Africa. The biggest market in Western Africa is situated here in Kumasi. So most of our people are traders. So you see a lot of people coming from La Côte d'Ivoire, northern part, Burkina. Most people, because Kumasi is also in the middle part of Ghana, people from all parts of the country come together. So there's a place at the market where young men sell mobile phones and the rest. It is called PZ. But there are sometimes you see these people. I can't talk for them, but maybe transgender people, men who dress in women clothing, and men who like walks like women, and you see these people when immediately they see them, they target them, then they beat them up. So it has become something like an urban culture. Like if you see a homosexual and you assault that person, nobody will say anything. The constitution, nobody will. There will be nothing against you. So people are taking advantage of that and assaulting these homosexuals, which I think is also a bad. It is not a typical culture like an Akan culture, but like I said, it's an urban culture, which we all think it is good to beat up a homosexual. And if intelligent and good people keep quiet for ignorant people to beat homosexuals, I think the good people will also be considered as bad people. So I don't agree. I don't agree with that aspect of. And one aspect that we talk about inheritance too, and when it comes to inheritance, Jerry John Rawlings brought the PNDC law to rectify these cultural discrepancies in our inheritance system, especially in another part of Ghana. Women were usually discriminated, and even in the southern part, in our culture, we inherit our uncles because we are from our mother's line. So a man, if you are a man, you can decide to take care of your case or not, and nobody will say anything because we culturally we are matrilineal. So men impregnate their wives or their girlfriend, and they will be living there because they know in this culture the woman will fend for the children. It is the woman's brother the children will inherit the woman's brother's property. So it created some form of some form of mentality that allow people to impregnate women and go scot free, and which I also think is a bad cultural practice. But many people have turned away from that culture. Right now, many people are betrothed their properties to their own children because I brought them to this planet, and if I have anything, I have to give it to them to also take care of themselves, not my sister's children, because my sister's children are supposed to be taken care by their father. So I think this culture too is something people say is good, and we Akans will practice it. People say it's good, but I don't think it is a good thing, and we need to stop that bad cultural practice.
Thank you,
Komakato,
Nana.
and one, okay. Let
I
me
think I've
pause
had
here
a
for a
good
while.
time. We have had a good
Okay,
run. We have had a good run
thank you very
on
much.
the show to share your views. Let us go back to Asel Leon because the man was chased out of the studio by the devils. He was talking about his culture being kidnapped and taken, abducted or kidnapped, whatever, is taken into the bush where he spends between 2 and 6 months being tortured into a hopeless culture. Let us go back to Sierra Leone.
I love that word, hopeless culture. Yes. So, like I was saying,
Mm.
there are days between those times that you'll be taken to the bush. There will be a day that you'll be buried alive. I mean, for maybe like 2 days. No, just finding a way how they will maltreat you to some extent that you really regret why you became a man in this world, or why you came into this world as a man. And those are the practices in that culture that actually I am totally against, and it is diabolical. It is very, very bad. And the fact that whether you want to be part of it or you don't want to be part of it, but for the fact that you are within that area where those programs are going on, they will force you. In fact, they will chase you. They will try to actually grab you wherever you are for you to be part of it, whether you like it or not. That is why, like I was saying, during those times, like in November, December, I will never go to my village. I will never step my foot to my village, because those are the times that even your colleagues, your childhood friend, they will be hunting you down as if there is pleasure in it. Again, one of the pleasure in it is only that you eat free food. Maybe they will be cooking a lot of food and bringing it in the bush. If the amount of number of those that are initiated, if there are 500, then there is going to be 500 uh, pot of rice every day. If it is 300, then there's going to be 300 pots of rice every day. So when you are there, to eat is just part of it. So there are people, they are like the children who are from 7, 8, 9, 10. Because of food, maybe they will get attracted by food, and then they will just hide one day and then go. Join them. But to me, I see it very diabolical, very bad. It is against every human dignity. And for the female, there is another one that inheritance. They don't allow women to inherit properties. That's another one. In fact, there was a year we are implementing a project called Women's Land Ownership Rights. That if I'm a man and I have a sister and our father is dead, so all the property that my father owns will automatically become mine. And then I will tell my sister that go to your husband's house. If you want to claim property, go and claim your husband's property. That is very, very bad. So they drive away women. They drive away women from plantations, because Sierra Leone is actually, we have cocoa, we have coffee, we have cashew. So all those plantations, the male, they drive their sisters to go to their husbands. That being that they are the man in the house, they are the rightful owners of those properties. If you, the woman, want to say anything, they will say, no, 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 go to your husband's house. If you want to say something, go to your husband's house. I am the man, I am in charge. I'm going to take over from my father. These are the bad practices in Sierra Leone that are actually going on. You know, even sometimes if a woman's husband is dead, they automatically drive you away. So sometimes you will see that the woman is in between. So if you drive your sister away from your father's property, and then the husband also, when the husband is also gone, and then the husband family will also say, go to your family. So you see, the women are like in between. She will not come to the father's side, and she will not also go to her husband's family. So this is something that has actually been affecting women a lot, a lot, a lot of other pride. But one of the things is that one of the things that actually hurts me is when politicians use these things to campaign. When they use these things instead of trying to actually discourage these things within the community, they actually try to use it to campaign, because there are people who are actually, they don't even know what is going on in the country. They don't want to know what is development. They don't want to know whether the government is making road, whether the government is not making road. The fact is that in the morning she will just get up, call her family, and then they go to the bush, to the farm, do their, so she is not even concerned, or he is not even concerned whether there is development or there is no development. So when this type of people are being faced by politicians, all they want to see, oh, my daughter is going to be part of the women's society. And there are times, like if you have an issue with your friend, and then you as a female, you have an issue with your fellow female, and she is part of that society and you are not part of it, the one that is part of the society will actually call members that you've insulted her. So what they will say, let's go to the bush and judge the case. Let's go. That case will not, we are not going to say anything outside. We'll go to the bush. Why? Because they want to initiate you by force. They will use that way to drag the other woman to their bush. And then when you are there, they will first of all have to flog you to some way that you will not like it. They will first of all have to flog you, because they know that the one that is part of the society, she will already be backed that she has a right, because she's part of their society and you are not part of it. So for the fact that you exchange words with someone who is part of a society in that community, it means you are wrong. You should respect them. So these are ways that they use to actually log in women into their societies. And if you don't accept, they will actually try to even banish you from that community. Because anytime they see you, they will actually try to drag you. They will find every way to drag you. And if also a male, if you say anything, you as a man in that community, if you say anything against the women, you are also going to be dragged to that bush. So these are actually bad cultural practices in Sierra Leone that I am against, and it is against any human right. It is actually a human right violation to the highest degree. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, we have heard from the gang. Everyone has been able to speak. We are going back to Nandip, but before we go back to Nandip, I want to also make an interpretation of what the three people have said so far. From Ghana, of course, from Ghana, can I say I'm surprised? Maybe not, because basically throughout Africa, there is female genital mutilation. Because Ghana has mentioned, Nigeria has mentioned, Sierra Leone has mentioned, Uganda has mentioned, East, West, South Africa, we are all complaining about female genital mutilation. Now, to me, this is a violation of women's rights. I have daughters, and I've always said that I'll do anything within my means to protect the girl child from abuse. But luckily, in my tribe, we don't mutilate women or girls. You know, these practices also vary from tribe to tribe. But of course, there are cultural practices in my tribe which I despise so much, which I really hate. Some of them I've been able to share today. Mambo said something which is very touching. The issue of politicians, always pumping these bad cultural practices. Why? Because they are vote winners. When we were campaigning against female genital mutilation in Uganda, the members of parliament from Sabini area, from the tribe where they cut women genitalia, the members of parliament were against the government abolishing female genital mutilation. Why? Because as Mambo has said, it's a vote rallying center. That a politician is going to say, this year I'm sponsoring 200 women to be mutilated. I'll buy them the requirements and I will pay the fee. Because actually the women who circumcise them, I call it circumcising, are paid. It reminds me something else before I hand over to Nandip. You people, we have not even talked about male circumcision. We have not. But throughout Africa, there is male circumcision. I think our focus has been so much on the women. But we forget that in Africa, throughout Africa, there is male circumcision. In my own country, Uganda, there is a tribe called Gishu. The Gishus circumcise boys by the time they are 12 years. In fact, if you happen to go there and they only circumcise in an even year, today, this is 2023, they don't circumcise. Now, next year, 2024, they circumcise. 2022, circumcise. 2023, skip. 2024, circumcise. 2025, skip. 2026, circumcise. You know, they are living their own years of circumcising. But I'm telling you, if you happen to go there in that time, it's always December, November. And uncircumcised, they will force you into circumcision. The Gishu. But because these are men, no one challenges them. Because these are men, no one has dared to challenge the Gishu in Uganda why they torture male child. I was circumcised when I was about 11 years, personally. I was circumcised when I was about 11 years, but it was on medical grounds. And I consented. My mother is a nurse. I accepted because I was told the benefits of circumcision. Personally, I was circumcised, but at 11, I was mature enough to understand why they need to take off the foreskin. And my mother was convinced that it's good for me as a nurse from a medical perspective. So I'm not entirely against circumcision, but I'm saying, why should these tribes force boys to lose their foreskin? To me, I think this is not right. Now, going back to Nandip, as we conclude, we have 7 minutes. Nandip, we are going to use 3 minutes. Nandip, for you think Nandip is away now? The devils have taken Nandip. The devils have taken Nandip away. The devil called the internet. Maybe he was saving us from Nandip. He will come back and complain later. Okay, now let us conclude this because actually the minutes are over. And Nandip is getting back. I think the network is disturbing him. Now, Nandip, the devil has brought you back. The devil has brought you back. We call it the God internet. God internet. Now, Nandip, in conclusion, you seem to say that in Tarok tradition, because I know you're a traditionalist, there's no bad culture according to you. That actually you are supposed to maintain many of these cultures in the Tarok. I don't think that is a fair enough thing to say that the Tarok have all these good cultures. When actually, when I look at the Tarok attacking you online, they're attacking you from a cultural perspective plus a religious perspective. Your own Taroks are always abusing you online. I follow you, remember? So which means that actually they may have something to do with intolerance. Intolerance. So, as we conclude from the cultural perspective, I'm still asking the same question. What aspects in 3 minutes do you think should be changed among the Tarok, but also by extension among people in Nigeria?
Yes, thank you, Comrade Katu. Honestly, you have already made a very balanced discussion on this aspect. You talked about we talked about the female circumcision, and at the last part of it, you brought about male circumcision, of which none of us can be able to, think about kind of these practices that we have been doing. Now, we are discussing about cultural practices that is humanist is against, right? Let us also look about, humanist practices that culture is against. Let's, change the kind of the topic now.
That is the topic for next day. Don't change our topic for today. That's the topic for another day. Don't change our topic for then. We are concluding. We have 1 minute left.
Okay. All right. Okay. It's okay. Oh, now, you see, yeah, the female circumcision in the Tarok is not that much. I never noticed my daughter has been circumcised because although she was giving birth, I was not there. Yes, but when I was giving birth, the circumcision, when I was circumcised, I don't know because I was circumcised in a childbirth when I was still very tender, when I was still very young. I don't know when I'm circumcised because this is also very, very harmful because the foreskin on the male genitalia is a protection against a lot of things. The foreskin on male genitalia is protection against infection, bacteria, and so many things. And if that is being cut off, it exposes us to a lot of, harmful infection. That's what our cultural, belief within or practices.
And your cultural belief is wrong. And your cultural belief is very myopic. Is wrong. It's not scientific.
Yes, that's what I said. Our cultural practices, we didn't think about that by cutting that foreskin on the genitalia because it's not even proper. Because that foreskin protected the penis. Yes, and a lot of people, that is other culture apart from Nigeria, most of them they didn't do male circumcision, and in Tarok we don't do female circumcision. None. I've never heard about female circumcision in Tarok. So I have to kind of protect or appreciate my cultural practices that yes, we don't push women in that agonizing practices by cutting off their clitoris or male foreskin. So we here in the Humanity TV Africa, we also appreciate the Tarot culture and tradition. Let's appreciate Tarot culture and tradition now.
Yeah, we do appreciate it, and we are concluding with you. Thank you so much. We have 2 minutes to go. 1 minute is for Nana. Nana, you have 1 minute, and Mambo is going to conclude today. Nana, 1 minute, Mambo concludes.
Thank you very much, Comrade Kato. As I said yesterday, I'm futuristic. I look forward into the future more than looking back. So there are some cultural practices, though I'm proud of my culture, but I'm futuristic. If there are some cultural practices that is not needed in this modern day world, we should defend the right of all women, all girls, all boys, or everybody not to be subdued by these archaic cultures. I'm futuristic. The future has the best for us. The past is gone and it's gone forever. The if we say culture, our culture, those things are just we have to create new things. If it is dance, we have to create new dance. If it is music, we have to create new music. So I'm not on the side of Nandip. I'm futuristic, and I look forward into the future. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. Nana from Ghana. Sierra Leone, what's your conclusion?
Yeah, talking about the male circumcision, I am a victim. In fact, in my culture, from the day you are giving birth to a week, between that you should be circumcised as a male. So between that first day to 1 week, or at most 2 weeks, you should be circumcised. So some of us, I didn't even know how it happened. So I always saw myself in that way. So, and I am actually against most of these things. Like the FGM is so much in my country that it is something very sacred. Even we've tried actually in so many ways to actually try to discourage them, but they are still on it. Even the male and the female. So we will continue doing it. And I will also, in fact, I'm also trying. I will try to invite somebody as a guest to Humanist TV, and she will talk about the FGM more from Sierra Leone. I thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, I will ask that question. The lady will bring in the studio. Please, when you bring her, ask her, do women who have been cut, who have been mutilated, enjoy sex? Ask her that question, especially if she is honest and mutilated. She will tell you no. She will tell you no. Now, we are concluding this episode. It was very nice. But we are going to respect Nandip. Nandip, your topic is coming tomorrow. Tomorrow, we are going to discuss your topic. Are there humanist ethics, humanist ethos, humanist practices that traditionalists in Africa hate, and why? Are there humanist ethos, ETHOS, practices, ethos that traditionalists in Africa hate, and why do they hate them? On topic tomorrow. Please, as a traditionalist, come and tell us where we humanists go wrong and why you may disagree with us on a few things. Let us meet tomorrow and shall fight here, because of course I'm going to defend the humanists and you're going to defend your traditionalists, and I'm going to beat you to the ground. See you tomorrow. See you guys. See you tomorrow. Dennis, thank you so much for the production. See you tomorrow. Good night.
Bye.